the real Old West. Not Hollywood legends, but actual frontier life, captured on film. Subscribe to History Unveiled, where we show you the photographs history books left out. Tombstone, 1884. John Heath hangs from a telegraph pole, lynched by mob. Vigilante justice, bypassing the courts. Frontier communities taking law into their own hands when official channels moved too slowly or delivered unwanted verdicts. The rope, the crowd. The photographer documenting extralegal execution. Loup Valley, Nebraska, around 1886. Pioneer family photographed outside their homestead. Parents and children standing before the sod house and wagon that brought them west. Faces weathered by plains wind and prairie sun. Daily survival on claimed land far from civilization's comforts. Many homesteaders lived in sod houses for years before affording lumber. Another gallows. Texas outlaw William F. Taylor photographed at his execution, 1896. Image titled Texas Outlaw on the Gallows, circulated widely in newspapers and prints. Public executions, serving as warning and entertainment. Frontier justice documented to demonstrate consequences and maintain order through visible punishment. The Wild Bunch, 5 members of America's largest and most notorious outlaw band, led by Butch Cassidy, born Robert Leroy Parker, and Kid Curry, born Harvey Logan. Informal trust of thieves and rustlers, preying on stagecoaches, small banks, especially railroads from late 1880s through first decade of 20th century. Criminal enterprise operating across territorial boundaries. This gang's railroad robberies forced companies to redesign their safes. Staged post-mortem photograph from the Old West. Deceased outlaw or lawman posed upright for camera. Death documented as proof, memorial, permanent record. Frontier society using photography to confront mortality and preserve final reality behind violent legends. Bodies propped and positioned before decomposition. Buffalo Bill Wildwest Show, Allentown, Pennsylvania, May 9th. Native Americans performing for crowds. Indigenous people employed as entertainers, reenacting battles and displaying riding skills for Eastern audiences. Cultural exhibition turned commercial spectacle. Traditional ways transformed into theatrical performance for profit. Buffalo Bill employed hundreds of native performers over the years. Wilde, Bosque Redondo Reservation. This photograph documents Dine, Navajo, and NDE, Apache internment. 1863. United States Army soldiers forced the long walk across Arizona and New Mexico. Many prisoners died during journey from starvation, dehydration, exposure. At camp, poor irrigation destroyed attempts to grow traditional Dine corn. Some attempted escape. This image preserves their misery and suffering. Bonnie and Clyde, around 1932 through 33. Photograph found by police at abandoned hideout. Depression-era outlaws caught in candid moment. Criminal couple romanticized by press, hunted by law enforcement. Their short violent spree ending in ambush 2 years later. Alaska, 1890s. 2 prostitutes show off their wares for camera. Sex work operating openly in mining boom towns. Women advertising services in region where men vastly outnumbered women. Frontier economy creating market for companionship and intimacy. Miles City, Montana, 1890s. 2 soil doves photographed in their profession. Another image of frontier prostitution. Western towns where brothels operated as licensed businesses, taxed and regulated like saloons. Women selling what the market demanded in cash-strapped mining communities. Many Western towns required health inspections and business licenses for brothels. Lott's Cabin, Miners Basin, Utah, 1897. Remote mining shelter in mountain terrain. Isolated existence chasing mineral deposits. Prospectors living in rough structures during extraction seasons. Harsh conditions endured for possibility of strike. Auburn Ravine, 1852. Miners working California gold rush claims. Most significant event in Western frontier settlement history. Initial discovery January 1848, but news traveled slowly. Although many arrived in 48, the true rush began following year in 49. Fortune seekers flooding into territory. Custer County, Nebraska, 1885. For men, faces hidden with masks, cross-cut barbed wire fence of neighbor's ranch. Cattle rustlers photographed by Solomon Butcher in staged image, documenting common frontier crime. Wire fences protecting herds. Thieves cutting access to steal livestock under cover of darkness. Cattle rustling carried the death penalty in some territories. Oregon, around 1900. Cowboys and dramatization of horse thief's fate. Man hanging from tree as warning. Staged photograph depicting frontier justice for livestock theft. Horses valued as essential transportation and work animals. Their theft treated as serious crime, deserving severe punishment. Tom Horn portrait. Complex legend of the Old West. Scout detective alleged assassin. Man whose life blurred lines between law enforcement and murder for hire. Convicted and hanged for killing that people still debate. Reputation built on violence, ended by rope. Texas, 1915. Crowd gathered around lynching victim. Body missing from this photograph, but gathering's purpose clear. Eerie image documenting mob violence. Racial terror and extrajudicial killing, continuing long after frontier era ended. Spectators treating murder as public event. Brownsville, Texas, May 19, 1916. Unidentified men wait at gallows before execution of Melquiades Chapa and Jose Buenrostro. Another scaffold, another public death. Border town justice delivered before witnesses. Officials and observers gathered for legal killing. Public executions in Texas continued into the 1920s. 1873. Infamous Bender and photographed the day after grave digging began. Site where traveling family murdered guests for years. Shallow graves discovered when neighbors investigated disappearances. Bloody Benders vanished before arrest, leaving only their house of horrors behind. William Preston Longley, Wild Bill Longley. Born October 6, 1851. Hanged October 11, 1878. Texas outlaw and gunfighter noted for ruthless nature, speed with gun, quick temper, unpredictable demeanor. Considered one of deadliest gunfighters in Old West. 27 years old at execution. Wagon train on the trail. Most trains operated under written rules, some with their own constitutions. Democratic governance on wheels. Families electing leaders, establishing codes of conduct, settling disputes through votes. Temporary mobile communities creating order during months-long journeys across lawless territory. Smallpox victim from the 1880s. Face marked by the disease that swept through frontier settlements. Before vaccination became widespread, the virus killed thousands and left survivors permanently scarred. Epidemics spreading through close quarters of mining camps, wagon trains, reservations. Medical care minimal or non-existent. Early 1900s. Dr. William Corlett of Cleveland's Western Reserve University photographed this recovered smallpox patient. The scars permanent. Pockmarks covering skin as lifetime reminder of survival. Medical documentation showing disease's lasting physical toll on those fortunate enough to live through infection. Smallpox killed roughly 3 out of every 10 people infected. Louisiana Purchase Exposition, St. Louis, Missouri, June 6, 1904. Interior of Native American Pawnee Earth Lodge, displayed as exhibit. Figure of person sleeping visible on cot and back. Indigenous architecture and lifestyle presented for spectators. Traditional dwelling recreated as educational display and public curiosity. Union Pacific train, late 1800s. Iron rails connecting east and west. Steam locomotive that shrank distances and accelerated settlement. Transportation transforming months-long wagon journeys into days of rail travel. Technology reshaping frontier economics and movement of people, goods, resources. The railroad brought prosperity but also destroyed indigenous hunting grounds. Black Hawk, Colorado, 1897. Interior of Tollgate Saloon. Bar bottles, tables, chairs where miners spent their earnings. Drinking establishment serving as social center. Gambling hall, temporary escape from hard labor underground. Whiskey and cards filling hours between shifts. Perry, Oklahoma Territory, September 1893. Wildwest Hotel on Calamity Avenue. Frontier lodging during land rush boom. Temporary structures housing wave of settlers claiming Cherokee outlet land. Town built overnight to serve speculators and homesteaders. Unidentified Cherokee cowboy photographed at Cherokee Heritage Center. Indigenous man working cattle, wearing Western gear. Native Americans adapting to ranching economy, combining traditional horsemanship with frontier livestock industry. Cowboy culture transcending racial boundaries on open range. Many of the best cowboys in the West were Native American or black. Converse County, Wyoming. Men pose in cowboy clothes with girl and dog. Identified as Tom Black, Chaz Mayo, Tex Biddick, Neil Hart, and Adele Black. Wearing suspenders, bandanas, leather chaps, pistol, holster, ammunition belt. Ranch hands displaying working gear. Photograph preserving community and occupation. Toledo's historic Old West End district, around 1900. Parlor in Emery Height home on Parkwood Avenue. Large fireplace dominates room furnished with rocking chair, piano, bench. Domestic comfort in established town. Western prosperity reflected in middle-class interiors far from frontier roughness. Hotel lobby interior filled with chairs, furniture, plants, columns. Several men standing in background. Frontier hospitality industry maturing into respectable establishments. Public spaces where travelers, businessmen, locals gathered. Social mixing point in growing western towns. Geronimo and Natchez mounted on horses. Son of Geronimo standing beside. Albumin photograph from C.S. Fly's series seen in Geronimo's camp. The Apache outlaw and murderer. Number 171. Tombstone, Arizona, 1886. Apache leader photographed before final surrender. Natchez wearing hat. Documentation of resistance's end. Geronimo would spend the rest of his life as prisoner of war. Jimmy Santiago McKinn photographed with Geronimo's band. White boy captured during Apache raids. Geronimo, Bidanco Apache, lived across New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, Utah. Vowed revenge after Mexican soldiers killed his family. War chief for Chiricahua Apaches. Attacked settlements for years before surrendering 1886. Held captive until death 1909 at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, from pneumonia. Livery stable, Old West. Frontier equivalent of modern garage and parking lot. Rented horses, teams, buggies, wagons. Repaired saddles, sold feed. Attached to hotels. Served as message center, meeting point, information hub. Essential infrastructure where travelers prepared for journeys and heard territorial news. Wolfer with wolfhounds near Amadon, North Dakota, 1904. Professional wolf hunter with pack of dogs. Counties paid bounties per pelt as cattle herds expanded. These men tracked wolves for days, setting snares and bait. Slept outdoors, hunted to eat. Sometimes prospected between wolf seasons for extra income. Wolf bounties help some hunters earn steady income year-round. Vintage pawn shop interior. Black and white photograph showing frontier credit system. Pawnbroker loan money using watches, guns, saddles, tools as collateral. In mining towns and trading posts, provided fast credit with high interest and risk. Financed expeditions and small businesses when cash was scarce. Two Skeety Pawnee make smoke offering during ceremony. Likely summer ceremony of Pawnee doctors. Daubing down feathers to crow with blue clay. Traditional religious practice documented photographically. Indigenous spiritual customs continuing despite pressure to abandon ancestral ways. Sacred rituals preserved through performance. Promontory Summit, Utah, May 10, 1869. Ceremony for driving Golden Spike completing First Transcontinental Railroad. Samuel Montague, Central Pacific Railroad. Shakes hands with Grenville Dodge, Union Pacific Railroad. East meets West in iron. Continent connected by rails laid through mountains, deserts, indigenous lands. Progress celebrated, consequences ignored. The real frontier. Hard work, disease, displacement, survival. History Unveiled shows you the West that actually was, not the legend Hollywood sold.